Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of Fisher Football Focus. I am your host, Kyle Lumsden. This past weekend, the Fisher football team earned an impressive victory on the road against Frostburg State University, 48-7. The Cardinals used a 21-point first quarter start to propel them for the win. Fisher was led by running back Chris Smith, who found the end zone 3 times on the day. Quarterback Tyler Fenty was 15 of 23 throwing for over 204 yards and 3 scores. 2 of those touchdowns went to wide receiver Nathan Nagolian, who finished the day with 6 receptions for 78 yards and 2 scores. Defensively, the Cardinals held Frostburg to just 36 yards on the ground and under 200 yards through the air. Paul Lavelle led the way with 7 tackles and 1 interception, and Mike Donaldson notched 6 tackles for the Cardinals in the win. I'm now joined by Paul and teammate Zach Shipley in the studio today. Guys, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. So another great win this past weekend. We'll start on the defensive side of the ball with you, Paul. What were some of the keys to that game?
Well, first we kicked off. We had a great opening drive on defense, forced them to a 3-and-out, and that gave the offense an opportunity to go down first drive and score. So that set the tone for the rest of the game almost. And as a defense, we've been playing better each week, but we haven't been fully there. So coming out on the road and really just taking it to them was it was a great feeling this week.
And you were able to get an interception. You lead the team in tackles during that game.
Yeah.
So how big was that?
It was nice. I did grab a couple tackles off kickoff, so it wasn't all on defense, but the interception was nice. It was a match play, so you're able to come down and get the ball and, again, give an opportunity to the offense, which has been running, which has been scoring all day and almost unstoppable. So
yeah.
Well, yeah, I'd like to get some credit to Paul and the defense. They did a great job, really giving us great field position all game. So whenever we got the ball, it was really easy to punch it in. The offensive line, Coach Frostburg made a point this week to make sure that we're on top of our game because he really thinks we can be a great offensive line. So me and the other seniors brought everyone together midweek, and we really wanted to focus on repeating our success we had last week with the running game, but not only that, also going through the air. And our wide receivers did a great job. Our running backs, Chris Smith had 3 touchdowns, and we really have a great 4 running backs, or 5 even, that can really get the job done. So it's really nice having playmakers like that able to make the offensive line's job a lot easier.
Makes your job, yeah. And then the offensive line doing such a great job, it makes their life easier.
Exactly.
Hit the open tackle,
yep, exactly.
Road game, you had to travel over 6 hours for this one. How difficult is it to handle such a trip like that, coming off a bus and then having to play?
Definitely sore coming off the bus. You're sleeping and you're a little kind of groggy, and you get into the hotel. And it's all about getting like a good night's rest, getting a good dinner in you, just kind of laying low. Get out the next day, and it's just like any other day. Like, I know our team's big on road games. We love to go in on road games and kind of ruin the other person's day.
Yeah.
Always makes us feel better. So getting up for road games it's kind of nice sometimes.
Yeah, I agree with Paul. The past couple of years, we've been given the name the Road Warriors. In the playoffs, we've really taken it to our opponents on the road. So going 6 hours down to Maryland was another treat. Obviously, it showed we're pretty good on the road as well. So it's a fun experience, especially the younger kids getting the experience to travel down to a new place. So it's real fun.
Yeah. And on the other side of it, you guys are athletes, but you're students as well. So how are you able to get your work done and to not fall behind when you have to travel on long road trips sometimes on weekends?
Well, Coach Frostburg helps us out. He emails the teachers for us, and we just have to mention it to them that we're not going to be there on class on Friday possibly. So that makes it a little easier, but teachers understand that we have a game we have to travel for. We get the work done. Usually, sometimes they like it done before. We get it done. They like it done after. That's nice because then we get a little break.
Right.
But everyone works together, and it's just being a student athlete. You got to be a student first and get the stuff done. So.
Yeah, going off what Paul said, 6-hour bus ride too doesn't hurt. I mean, you have 6 hours on a bus. You're either sleeping or doing homework, so that really helps. And plus, you have teammates to help you out. It actually helps because you're stuck on a bus, and if I was home, I may stop if I don't understand something. I have 50 other kids on a bus.
Right, jail the back of the bus.
Exactly. Yeah, so it makes it easy.
Help.
Sometimes it makes it a little easier.
Well, that's good. And as you guys were saying before, you road warriors and you love playing on the road. So here's a question for you guys: do you prefer to be in front of that loud home atmosphere, rooting on, as you're probably going to get this weekend for alumni weekend, or would you rather, ruin a team's day going on the road and playing in front of their fans?
Well, I mean, with this week coming up, it's homecoming. Salisbury's a team who me and him both, since we've been here, and Fisher as a program, has never been able to beat them.
Yeah.
So them coming to our home turf on our homecoming, you better believe we're gonna be a pumped up team to play them. At the same time, almost the previous week, going to Brockport and ruining the Courage Bowl, which they thought they could take over, and there's nothing better than beating a team on the road, ruining their homecoming, and nothing better than it.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's nothing better than sending their fans home at halftime, especially when they're real pumped up at the beginning of the game and it's loud, just to really quiet them with our play. It's really fun. But playing in front of people, you can't really beat that. Having your friends, family there to cheer you on, it's a really cool experience.
So I guess expectations heading into alumni weekend against Salisbury. Well, defensive side of the ball, what are you looking for to try to stop that offense?
Well, they run the old-fashioned double wing offense. So we're gonna be looking at the wings. You got to stop the run. Once we stop the run, we got to see what they have in the past. But the key is going to be getting off their cut blocks and just tackling the football, forcing a couple turnovers, which is what we pride ourselves on defense. So, but we've been talking about it before. We've been saying we're 95% good defense. We can be a great defense, but we still have 5% to go. And this is going to be another week where we can try and prove to the conference and in the nation that we can be a top caliber defense.
And that 5% might not, it's maybe just 5%, but still, it's that extra leap that you have to take.
It's a big 5% where you have to overcome.
And for the offensive side of the ball, Salisbury's, they've given up over 30 points a game in each of their 3 games this season. So what are you looking for offensively?
So we're going to focus on scoring. We need to score a lot of points. I mean, we can't rely on, as good as the defense is, everyone has a bad game or bad play, so we got to focus on scoring every drive. Last week we scored the first 3 drives, and it really put us in a great position to win that game. So we're gonna try to put together our best game. We've yet to do that on offense. Coach Vosburg is always talking about playing our best game, and if we want to be an elite team, we're gonna have to run the ball effectively and pass and score every chance we get.
Put together a complete game.
Exactly.
So good luck this weekend.
Special teams, defense, and offense got to put together a complete game.
That's true. Win a third, and every special teams, defense,
Right.
you win, you'll be good to go. So good luck, guys, this weekend.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Up next, we have offensive line coach Jim Scacchetti, so don't go away.
Beauty. You find it everywhere. In nature, in life. What about in education? At Fisher, students are our most precious responsibility. Alumni, our proudest achievement. Each Fisher student benefits from our strong liberal arts foundation combined with the newest, most advanced professional schools the campus has to offer. This is what awaits you here. Discover the world within at St. John Fisher College.
Coach Jim, welcome to the show.
Great to be here.
Your team has rushed for over 600 yards combined in the last 2 games. Some may say, wow, that must be your talented running backs, but you also can't discredit the offensive line. So can you elaborate more on that?
Well, yeah, obviously, I don't want to take away from the running backs either, but at the same time, too, I think one of the things that we've really focused on, especially since the bye week that we had, there were some things that we wanted to adjust with the offensive line as far as really kind of coming off the ball. And we got a great group of guys. We're pretty big and physical, and the thing is they've had it. They've had pretty good past couple of games, but a lot more to go.
That's true. And what do you focus on or have been focusing on to really prepare your offensive line for this season?
Yeah, well, each week's a challenge, and each week's a little bit different because depending on the defenses or the teams that you play and stuff. So what we really try to do with the offensive line specifically is, we do different drills where, according to what defense we're seeing, and the kind of drills that we do as far as, the fronts and different things of that nature and stuff like that. It's really a repetition, but the idea is that, we just want to make sure that we're improving each week. And I think that's one of the things that we really tell our guys is that never be satisfied with last week's game, and you have to improve for next week as well.
And looking at, Frostburg's defensive front, what were some of the adjustments that you made throughout that game to really solidify your offense?
Yeah, because to the film that we actually had, the two games that we actually had, they showed us, against us, they showed a lot more, I guess you would say, stunning and blitzing and different things, slanting. With the idea, I think they were trying to, like confuse our blocking schemes. I think one of the big things that I noticed though too was, I think that they felt going into the game that they couldn't just play a straight defense and have success against us. But, we made some adjustments as the game went on, and our running game, was solid. It wasn't great, but it was solid. So we understood going into that game that, them being at home and, their first home opener, it was going to be a tough-fought game, but it turned out well for us. So.
And then definitely coming off a game where you rushed for over 400 yards in Brockport, that you rushed for just 200 yards, which is phenomenal, and kind of really jump starts your offense. And once you establish the run, it makes everything easier for your offense. And talking about your offensive line, who have been some of your leaders on your team?
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, we have a good mix of kids. We actually have, I would say, probably the number one leader we actually have is Zach Shipley. I believe, he's been a 2-year starter for us at center. He's a senior this year. And we have some other solid kids. I would probably say the leader at the tackle position would probably be Kyle Gensler. He is a junior out of Aquinas, a local guy here. And, those guys are really, I think as much as, we as coaches want to say, that we motivate them, they kind of motivate themselves, because, again, they know what it's like to be in the playoff situation. They know what it takes to get to that, to the last 8 teams of the season and stuff like that. And I think that kind of rubs off on everybody else. And, there's some other guys that we actually have who actually saw a lot of varsity time last year. C.J. Dominic, Pittsford kid, that played right guard for me last year. He was a starter. So, we have some good experience. And we have some good young kids that came in, sophomore and a freshman. There's really stepping up as well.
And we've said before on the show is your team leaders on the team is kind of like they're almost like an extension of the coaching staff, and they've been there and they've been in those situations, so it's important to have that type of leadership on your team.
Sure.
Some of your improvements that you would want to take with from the last game, or if the season so far, to improve in heading into this weekend's matchup.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing about this matchup is is that we're playing Salisbury University, and the thing is we've never beaten them.
0-3.
We're 0-3 against them, and in fact, 0-4 actually. If you go back before we went to the playoff, we lost to them in a triple overtime.
Oh wow!
Back in 1998 or 2008, excuse me. So I mean, they're leaving the conference next year, and really to get where we want to be, this is the game that we have to beat. We have to win, and so I don't think there's going to be too much that I'm going to have to say or do to make these guys focus. But, we're going to prepare, like we would for any game. We want to improve every week. And, again, it just comes from them giving it, the effort and trying to get better in every rep that they take.
Definitely. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show for me.
Thanks. Thank you.
And we'll see how you guys turn out this weekend.
Thanks.
To wrap up the show, we have head football coach for the Cardinals, Paul Vosberg, to go over his team's last game performance and expectations heading into Alumni Weekend's matchup against Salisbury University. So don't go away.
This financial advisor is being accused of committing one of the largest investment frauds in the history of the United States.
I guess we're not going to Aspen. That's fine. You see, I like tennis balls. He likes insider trading. So he's going to jail and I'm going to a shelter. And no, they're not the same thing. Shelters are for good pets that want to be adopted. Jails are for criminals. I've done nothing. Uh-oh. Okay, I stole a cheeseburger once on my dog.
Coach, welcome to the show.
Thanks. Glad to be back.
48-7 victory this past weekend. Your team just keeps on rolling.
We're doing pretty good right now. I thought we made some improvements over the last week, and so good things happened for us down at Frostburg.
Was it difficult for your team to take that long trip? Did you feel like they were well prepared as they came off the bus, but spending the night in the hotel, but that next day?
Yeah, I think as a team we've always done a pretty good job on the road. That we've went into it with a business-like attitude that this is a business trip. This is not a pleasure trip. We're here for one thing, and that's to play this football game and do our very best at this game. And so sometimes I really like it with the idea that our kids are in a motel, so I don't have to worry about them in the dorms, because in the motel it's pretty quiet. I don't know if the dorms are always real quiet on a Friday night, so it is nice to have them in there, and they're together and they're talking football and they're just enjoying each other, and I think they bond pretty well there. So a lot of times having them in a motel the night before the game is a real positive for us.
That is nice, getting that team chemistry, team bonding to get together and prepare for the game the next day.
Exactly.
You guys scored 21 points in that first quarter, and how important was it to really get up on them early, and what were some of the keys in that quarter?
Well, I think anytime you're on the road and you're playing a pretty good opponent, we felt that Frostburg was going to be a real tough opponent, and to go down there and draw blood first and get after them early really helps set the tone, and a lot of good things happened for us. I think the first thing was our kickoff team did a great job. Taylor Byrne kicked it deep into their end zone, and so our defense came out defending a big field. And anytime our defense is given a good field position, they're pretty tough to move the ball on. And so right off the bat, we're out there in our punt return, and we get a big punt return, and we get a short field, and we're able to score quickly, and so on. So the first quarter we couldn't have scripted it any better than to come up with 21 points in the first quarter on the road for our first overnight road game. So I thought that everything went pretty well for us.
And you're looking on the defensive side of the ball, you've mentioned how they've really set up your offense well. Specifically in that first quarter, they forced Frostburg to go four and out. It was turnover on downs, and that set up your offense for a Nagolian touchdown. How important was that stop to solidify your defense?
Well, that was real important. I wasn't surprised that they went for it. I think that they knew they wanted to keep our offense off the field, and they were at home, and they felt pretty confident being over midfield that they maybe could make this first down. That's huge. When you have a fourth down stop, that's always a momentum changer, and our offense took advantage of it and went down to the field and again got another score for us, and so that kind of sent a message to them.
And continuing with the defensive side of the ball, you held them to 36 rushing yards, under 200 yards through the air. As a defense, forcing a team to those kind of numbers, they're not going to win very many games.
No, they aren't. In fact, they only had 7 first downs for the whole game, so that's not very many first downs. And when you're under 200 total offense, and that you're in trouble. And of course, when you can't run the football, and that's something that I think they wanted to be able to do, was to control the football a little bit. But they had 36 total yards, as you said, and so our defense just did a great job.
Yeah, establishing the run, you're able to keep your high talented offense off the field, but when you're unable to do that, it's going to make for a long day.
Long day.
And heading into Alumni Weekend, where former students get to come back and celebrate their time here at Fisher, do former players still come up to you maybe during this weekend and talk about the game or just the program itself?
Yeah, and then we'll get a lot of emails and telephone calls that they're coming to the game, and in fact, some of them are coming from a distance away just to come back for the homecoming game and stuff like that. So, yeah, they're excited to come see this version of our Cardinal football. So they'll be here, and they'll be having fun, I think, and they'll be talking trash.
Right,
so,
yeah, exactly. Great home field advantage. And
exactly.
You're going to need it against Salisbury University, where you're 0-4 career against them, and it's the last time you're ever playing this as an Empire 8 opponent. So heading into this weekend, what are your thoughts?
It's big. I know a couple of our alums have already gotten a hold of me. They definitely want to see us break this bad streak that we got going for us. We had our opportunities. In fact, the first year we played them, they came up to our house and played here, and we were ahead in the fourth quarter, and they ended up tying it up, and we went into, I think, either 3 or 4 overtimes, and so on. So we've had our chances, and we had our chances 2 years ago in here in 2012 we were ahead in the fourth quarter, and they came back to beat us late in the fourth quarter. So we've had our opportunities. We haven't been able to close out against them in that. And a lot of the credit goes to them. They're a very good football team. That's a great program down there at Salisbury, and Coach does a great job with them. And we're going to have our hands full this week. They're very talented. They're very fast. So we're going to have to come with our A game.
Well, hopefully you come with your A game and end that streak. So thank you, Coach, for joining me again.
Thank you.
Thank you, viewers out there who tuned in to watch the show. Be sure to come to Fisher's next game this Saturday at Groundy Stadium as they take on Salisbury University. I am your host, Kyle Lumsden, and remember, it's not the will to win, but the will to prepare to win that makes all the difference. See you next time on Fisher Football Focus.